Hey everyone, I'm Rachel,
And I'm Jen, and welcome to Devilish Bookworms, the podcast.
where we read and review books and release episodes every Tuesday.
This week we have The Cruel Dark by Bea Northwick.
Yay! When Millie Foxboro accepted an assistant position to the esteemed Professor Hughes, she knew that it would be a chance to leave the shadows of her past behind. Unfortunately for Millie, ghosts walk the halls of Willowfield Manor. Although the staff of the house is friendly enough, she can't deny the whispers and phantoms that creep from the woodwork at night. Will Millie escape her own past just to succumb to the history of Willowfield? Dun, dun, dun.
So this week's trigger warnings are discussion of death of loved ones, discussion of child loss, attempted murder, and the discussion of emotional and physical child abuse.
Um, so I know that I said this on the last book, and I swore up and down that we had read this book. We had not. We had not.
Mm-mm.
This is definitely for sure is my first time reading it, but I don't know where that came from. I don't know if I just had the weirdest deja vu. I don't know what happened.
I
I
don't
remember
know.
the cover.
I think we discussed reading it, but then we just never did. I think that's what it
Yeah.
boils down to. But I think it was collectively on both of our TBRs, so I mean, it works out.
Yeah. Um, I thought this one had a really cool dedication. It was just here's to finding ourselves,
Which is something we all need to do.
bro, for real.
Yeah.
Especially now when everything else seems so like topsy turvy. You know, it's literally like living in Alice in Wonderland. So if there's one thing that we need to be able to know is ourselves.
Yeah, they isn't there like a saying that when everything falls apart, you finally truly find yourself or something along that line?
Is it? That's kind of cool.
I feel like I've heard a quote like that. And if not, I'm coining it. Uh,
Jen 2025.
listen. I've actually made a couple of banger of comments lately. So I'm just I j- there was one moment I was like, you know what? I don't want to care. Like that was it. I just didn't want to care.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Absolutely. But anywho's
So this book, I'm gonna say a thing, and I think I wonder if it's gonna hit. I wonder if it's gonna resonate with you. I would say that this book is kind of like Beauty and the Beast meets Jane Eyre meets something else. I'm not sure what that something else is, but it's in there somewhere
so Beauty and the Beast mixed with Jane Eyre.
for sure. And then there's an element of something else, and I can't quite put my finger on it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
That is a good one. I do see where you're coming from though, especially with the Beauty and the Beast aspect, 1,000% see
A
that.
thousand.
1,000. Um, and Jane Eyre, absolutely as well, because
Mm,
yeah.
so good.
Um, I do agree with you. There's something else that's missing from that list that
Hmm.
could like even like a portion of Verity, I could say.
I've still never read
Oh God, it's so good.
it.
But
um, so real quick with this book, essentially Millicent is a woman who works at a bookstore and she gets the job opportunity of a lifetime to be assistant type person to uh, professor of, I forgot what he does, but he
I think
teaches stuff.
history.
Cool.
He teaches stuff.
So he's a teacher. They kept calling him professor, basically. um, but yeah, he teaches like his it's like mystical, like mythology. I don't know. He's something. I'm the worst. Um, and so she's his assistant, and you know, big beautiful house, big beautiful mansion, handsome intelligent dude who's all broody,
Just
things things are bound to happen.
mouth is already drooling.
Right.
So listen, you, you like just going into this, you see that you're in a secluded mansion and you're getting ready to go work in a library. Like, book people, is there anything better than that? Like, come on. Like, that's just calling to all of us right there.
100%.
Ah, I just, I wish that opportunity was here.
I know, right? God. I do not live in the area that is conducive to, you know, nice gothic style manners with creaky floors and ghosts that stand in your bedroom.
So honestly, when the book started going that way, I was like, okay, so there's gonna be ghosts. Okay. Like, how is this gonna play out? Like, are they going to torment her or are they going to, enjoy her? Like, I wasn't exactly because
Oh, whoa.
I didn't read the back of the book,
Spicy
okay?
with ghosts?
Listen, it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, haunting in Chateau de Morlaix. I
Facts.
mean, just first 5 minutes of knowing a ghost. Oh, let finger bang me.
Wow.
I'm sorry. But I wasn't entirely sure where this book was going with the ghost portion,
Mhm.
but I was not expecting the kind of turn that it kind of took.
Mhm.
So I was pleasantly surprised about that.
So yeah, this book has a ton of like secrets, and I think that she did a wonderful job of twisting all of the secrets into each other, and you don't really they're not really all guessable. I will say
Yes.
one aspect I totally guessed right off the bat, and when it happened I was like, yes.
You know something? It was probably the aspect that I missed because I was listening to the audiobook. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say a thing. I don't think the audiobook does this book justice at all. In the
Yes.
slightest bit. I don't think it does it justice. I think I actually missed more of the story to and the context clues of the story because I was listening to it. And when I was listening to it, even at a two times speed, it sounded like the woman was talking at a one time speed. And it seemed to like pull me out of it. So I didn't really
Mhm.
focus as much as I should have on the book. But I did try to listen at like a 1.2 speed the whole time. And I, I'm sorry to say this, but I wanted to pull my eyeballs out at some certain points.
Yeah,
But
that's yeah. I see that.
her voice wasn't bad. It was just like it was very slow and she enunciated everything,
Well,
which
it
is
was
good.
okay. So the no, it's not.
Well,
So the book is a gothic romance. And so like
mhm.
you and I feel bad for like just tearing it apart because she had a really pretty voice, but she did something with it. The writing itself was so thick and it was so dramatic and beautiful, and I'm not saying those in a bad way, they're amazing. She set the tone, basically gothic romance dripped from the walls in this book. Like every part of it was beautiful. So when you have that kind of writing, the fact that she made her voice more dramatic took us out because it's too much. It's too much. You don't have to sit there and talk about how you ran your fingers across the part of the vehicle. And it was just like the way she was talking, it was like, okay, uh, uh, I don't, it doesn't have to be that. It is dramatic. You don't have to make it dramatic. And then
Mm-hmm.
and then I never thought that there was going to be a guy's voice that was too deep. But listen, I understand that not everyone can be Orcus auditory, but like this one, what? What?
Uh,
I'm the
Honestly,
worst. I feel like such a dick.
you don't, because I felt the same exact way. I when I literally text you about the voices, I was like, I never thought it was possible to not like a deep voice. And it wasn't like his voice wasn't bad, but it was just way too deep for the role that he was playing. If he was playing a 50-year-old sheriff, I could see it. I could see it happening. Like he had that nice drawl to him, and I could totally get behind that. But when you're playing a broody professor, maybe in his 40s, it just it didn't work out so well. And then he
Well,
tried to
for
like,
us.
yeah. And he when he tried to change his voice to a different character, like the doctor, oh honey, oh honey. Like I appreciate you for trying. It just it didn't work out so well.
I feel as though I wonder if I kind of want to see other things that he's done because I almost feel like he maybe it was that he did his voice too deep and that we could pick up on it because you could tell when a male um
Mm,
voice actor lowers their voice,
yeah.
and it kind of has that weird strain. So like I wonder if
He
maybe
just
that was it.
dropped it
Yeah.
an octave too many.
Yes. Oh my God, we're the worst. What are we doing? Nothing. We're not voice actors. We're just sitting here critiquing everything. I feel rude,
Oh,
but like at the same time, it was
it well, when it affects the quality of the book itself, like the actual like words of the book, then I feel like it's not a mean thing for us to say. Like we're just pointing out, we're just stating facts. It's not like we're trying to be negative. We're not trying to be mean. These narrators did what they came to do.
mhm.
It just the execution just wasn't there for us.
Yeah. I feel like I probably would have had the same problem because I listened to the first half of the book and then
Okay.
the second half of the book I read, and I feel like I would have missed a lot if I had um listened to the whole thing.
Yeah, I was trying to read in tandem, but I was just so sick this week. I just could not hold a book in front of my face.
Poor
And
Jen.
like it just was not happening. So I'm just glad to have a voice and be able to hear, but
So I want to I want to mention. I know that we mentioned it a second ago, but about the twists and turns, I thought they were delicious. I thought they were fantastic. Like I said, that one major twist I called,
mm,
but I think all of the twists and turns around it, and then she did such a good. I love it when they do this, and this is what happens when you don't over explain. Is that when we finally got the aha moment at the end, past things clicked into place. And I
hmm
was like, that's why that happened. That's why that character acted that way. That's why that, hit so hard. And it was like, I love that domino effect of when they've laid the breadcrumbs and you get to the end of the book or the grand reveal or whatever, and everything just kind of falls Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you there because that aha moment, I was like, no way. Okay, so that makes sense to why this character knew this information.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, at the same time, because like I said, because I was listening to it versus actually reading it, I missed
Mm,
the breadcrumb for that big portion.
yeah.
I I thought it was going to be something slightly different, but when it actually happened, I was like, no shit. That that works. It it made the book so much better, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know what's funny is when I thought that we had read this book, I remembered not liking it, right? And obviously we've established that we had not read the book, but I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I'm totally like there's a novella that's like a companion, and I'm totally going to read that because I love the characters and I love the story and I love the journey that they were on and all of that. And it's so funny that I would have bet my life on it that I had read it and didn't like it.
Huh. Well, it's kind of funny because I felt, well, I knew we hadn't read it, but at the same time, as I was reading it, I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like this book. Oh, I really don't think I'm gonna enjoy this. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had that sense of feeling where it was just gonna drag on too much or be too wordy or just like the ending was gonna fall flat. None of that took place.
I had that same concern. I was concerned that you were going to hate it.
See? Okay, it wasn't just me then.
No, because what I love dramatic and I love when things are drawn out and I love the slow burn and I love, certain, the overly romanticized things. And it's not that you don't like them, but it's almost like but from like now because we've read so many books, I can kind of tell when you aren't going to like something. And so I was worried. I was like, "Oh god, oh god." And then the ending happened and I was like, okay, well, I don't think she's gonna hate it. She might not love it, but I don't think she's gonna hate it.
Well, I honestly I was pleasantly surprised that I did actually like it. Um I I think what really kept me going was the fact of the ghost. That like if it wasn't
Mhm.
for those ghosts, like I would have pretty much been done. I was like, okay, so it was like a there was no slow burn really. It wasn't an enemies to lover. It was just like they met, they're vibing with each other, and then all of a sudden they're together. And I'm like, well, that was anticlimactic. But they the way that she wrote this, like the just adding the aspects of the ghost kept you into their story enough where you're like, well, where the fuck is this going? Like,
Mhm.
what kind of thing is she going to pull over our eyes at the last second? And then bam, mic drop.
Yeah. Well, and you know what else? You know what else added to it was the mental health aspect because there was a huge. Um, I know that you said it. You touched on it a little bit before, but there was a huge mental health aspect.
Yeah.
Millie has a past that was really rough, and there not only do you have the what's real and what's not real because of the ghosts, but you have the what's real, not what's not real because of the fairy aspect, and you
Mm,
have the what's real and what's not real because of the mental health issue, and
hmm.
it's like every scene. I don't know if it was like this with you, but for me, every scene, it was like it changed what could be. When you're at the dinner and you're like, oh wait, so is this like is this how it's going? Or when you go to, you know all the little journals and or like the room, all these little things, each time a new scene happened, it was almost like, wait, what is this leading up to?
Yeah. Absolutely. Like she kept breadcrumbing you throughout the entire story.
I
Kind
know.
like I thought it was gonna kind of drive me crazy, but it literally actually kept me invested.
It
Uh,
was so good.
yeah. And that never happens. That like I usually get so fucking annoyed with that, but at the same time, like it was done well enough where it was just like, ooh, okay, so where is she going with that? Like I honestly I wasn't sure how the hell she was going to mix the fairy folklore in there and like what role that really actually had to play. And
Mhm.
it was minor, but at the same time, like it came together in a
Yeah.
sense. So I liked it.
So now we've established how much we both loved the book and how I loved the twists and turns and everything that we collectively love about it. I will ask this question. Do you think that the ending with the epilogue was rushed?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Because she could have definitely drawn that out another 20 to 50 pages and it would have been fine.
I feel like there's two instances in the book where it was a lot of exposition and it could have been,
Ah, yeah.
you know what I mean? I feel like it could have been a full book. I mean it was a full book. It was 255 pages, but I feel like with the amount of exposition we got, we probably could have gotten a couple more chapters.
For sure. Especially when like she was going over past
Mm-hmm.
details.
Yep.
Yeah, facts, because that was a lot to just take in. Um, I mean, I think if she would have approached that topic a little bit better, she could have drawn that out and worded it a lot different, and it definitely could have been a little smoother. But the ending for sure, I agree.
I wonder if I wonder if she had been able to because you hmm my no, I was thinking that maybe it was done because you wouldn't want spoilers, but I think you could have gotten away with it if she had because they were already in a position where it was kind of mm, like sweet or like bonding. It was like a bonding moment. I think
Hmm.
if she had transitioned that into a different, like maybe she was like, well, let's go take a walk or let's go, you know have breakfast or something, and then had it be another cute scene but also blend that exposition in there,
Yeah.
because then it wouldn't have been so much of like narration.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was a lot to take in. I mean, even again, audiobook wise, like I felt like it was just droning on at that point. And I was just like, ugh,
Oh, I'm
come on.
sure.
It was rough. I think that was one of the parts that I actually like zoned out. And I think that was one of the
Mm,
areas where they had a context clue that I just
yeah,
com completely fucking missed it.
that sucks because honestly the storyline was so good. It was so good, and so I feel like it was owed to the story to have it be a little bit clearer, you know
Yeah. Well, at least
or
I
like
know
spend more
now.
time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
um you want to you want to chat about the spice a little bit?
we can chat about spice. I think it was, in my opinion, it was like maybe three and a half, four jalapenos.
I could dig it. I think it it was a good payoff.
Yeah, oh, yeah. So I actually questioned to myself, is there gonna be any type of spice? Like generally, like, I don't care one way or the other, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it was just like I was curious, but then once we got to it, I was like, oh, okay. That's nice.
There was a book. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. We didn't did we do Rhapsodic for the we did do Rhapsodic
Yes.
for the okay, so that book it was like like the payoff was it was not there. But this one made up for that one. Like this one had such a good payoff that it made up for all the books that didn't.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I absolutely love that.
I'm just
Mm,
saying.
well, I'm just asking, did you have a favorite character?
Um, I think I think my favorite character I don't think I had a favorite character other than the mains. Well, no, maybe the Mrs. Ms. What's her face? The maid, not maid, the what's her name? Not Felicity, the other one.
Yeah, I was gonna say you would ask that right now. Miss Dillard.
Miss Dillard?
Miss Dillard. She was the,
Really?
yeah, Dillard.
Anyway, yeah, Miss Dillard then. Um yeah, I liked Miss Dillard. Um but I think I really like the main characters. I really like him for reasons that I can't disclose for fear of spoilers. And
Mhm.
I really liked the FMC. I really liked Millie because he even says at one point, you stand up for yourself, like she wasn't scared to like um, stand up for herself.
Mm.
What about you?
So I honestly really didn't have a favorite character, but
Fair.
if I was to choose one, it would be Mr. Holmes because
Okay.
he was such a freaking sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like we only see him for what, 5 pages,
Yeah.
maybe, but at the same time, it was just like, ugh, what a fucking cutie.
Little cutie patootie.
Yeah.
Did
So,
you have a favorite quote?
so I had a couple.
Okay.
Um, I'm not gonna read all of them. So, Millie, we can't exclude people from life because of their struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Is facts. I think all of us who have had deep hurts in our life never escape the anger that it inspires. It simply melds into the people we become and sometimes takes the shape of something new and unexpected, like courage. And then
Mm.
my last one would be I'd come to be certain that a person could never be cried out. So many times I'd thought the last tear I would ever shed had fallen, only to discover there were always more. Good and bad, there were endlessly more. So yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sometimes it for sure feels like that.
Yes, it does. But how about you?
I think that my favorite is Strange Things Bloom Where Grief Lives.
Oh, I had that one somewhere.
Yep, that's the favorite.
That was a really good quote.
Yeah. All right. So The Cruel Dark was written by Bea Northwick. She has also released a companion novella called Lover. You can purchase, you can find more information about the author as well as her handles for social media and purchase sweaters and stickers on her website, northwickbooks.com. That's NORTHWICKBOOKS.com. Jen, what are we reading next?
Next, we are reading When We Had Forever by Shaylin Gandhi.
Yay! Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Devilish Bookworms.
If you want to chat with us, be sure to check us out on Threads, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
You can also find our podcast on YouTube and wherever else you listen to podcasts.
We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.